welcome to our second episode of the APAX News. We are getting more and more comfortable with our equipment in the process of collecting and broadcasting your news.
There have been several interesting activities going on this month in our classroom, so let's check them out.
Mrs. Beal's 7th grade language classes concluded their study of poetry last week with a poetry slam. After reading through several examples of professional poems and identifying poetic elements, students were able to try their hand at creating their own poetic work using the techniques they studied. After a week of work, each student presented his or her poem to the class. Let's listen to an example from Mrs. Beal's room.
Okay, friends become frenemies. I wrote my poem about Kenda. Words came out faster than you could say mother. Another friend goes by like the morning sky, wanting to cry but it's in the past. I had to get over it so fast. Now she asked, do you think our friendship will last? Crazy, silly, goofy, I answered fast. Our friendship will never be a blast. But as the years went by, we became better than ever. Now we're friends forever. Nothing can break us apart. We're rubber and glue. We'll stick together and always be true.
That was great. Mrs. Beals was impressed at how well the students did and was especially surprised at the amount of descriptive and figurative language used.
Mr. Vale's 7th grade social studies class took on the challenge of traveling the world earlier this month. In this project, students researched amazing landforms in the Eastern Hemisphere. Then they created a Google map to identify the locations of those landforms. Finally, they wrote a paper to describe the locations and formation of them. And then they presented their findings about the landforms to Mr. Vale's 7th grade social studies class. Mr. Vale was extremely happy with the students' projects and hopes the students are excited to learn about and visit the amazing things around the world.
Mrs. Derrick's science classes spent part of this month on a project that tends to be favorite amongst students. Dissecting owl pellets, students first learn about food chains and food webs, and then they watched videos on the hunting and eating habits of owls. They then dug into actual pellets from owls and put together the bones of animals they found inside. The students found the project interesting and enjoyed the hands-on learning experience.
I think the kids really enjoyed this project. It's part of the project-based learning that we've been learning about in the middle school, and the owl pellets always seem to be a favorite. And I believe the students have found it very interesting because I hear them talking about it in the hallway and they can't wait to get to class.
6th graders in Mrs. Daggett's social studies classes showed off their new knowledge of ancient Greek architecture and mythology by creating accurate representations of Greek temples. Students had to research temples and they create a model out of materials of their choosing. This project was similar to the Olympics for the classes, as this was their last challenge and the group with the highest score was named the winner.
Mrs. Unger's 6th grade Read 180 classes recently created skits for the short story The Fall of the House of Usher, written by Edgar Allan Poe. The students were responsible for making their own props, creating their own lighting, and memorizing lines to produce this first play. The classes will perform 2 more plays this year.
Something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you.
Mrs. Andrews' 7th grade art classes worked with Mr. Till's 7th grade math classes this month to create original models of bedrooms. Students worked on their scale projects in math class and then took those plans and turned them into impressive 3D models during art. Mrs. Andrews' class has been working on a digital project. You have to look very closely to see the hidden picture.
Mrs. Armentrout's Spanish classes have been learning about the history and customs of Mexican holiday, the Day of the Dead. On the 1st and 2nd of November, families in Mexico remember their deceased loved ones by building memorials in their homes. They also clean and decorate and visit their loved ones' grave sites. The Spanish class was recently making flowers for a garland to decorate their own Day of the Dead memorials.
Now for our news segment, Robbie's Rants.
Okay.
Okay, I am here to talk about why Minecraft is so addictive. Minecraft is so addictive because people get so stuck to it all the time, then they play it in class. What is with that? But it does teach people, yeah, construction workers. But I don't think anybody in the school is going to be a construction worker until they grow up.
We also sat down with Mrs. Owens to get the scoop on the Count Me In program for this year. This is what she had to say.
Count Me In is a rewards program for students with perfect attendance, meaning no tardies, no absences, no check-in, check-outs, not even for 5 minutes, and they cannot have any referrals whatsoever, any discipline issued. This year's prizes are going to be, our first semester is going to be a trip for Florida Kings Island with an overnight stay and gas and a gift card to Outback. And then our second semester gift is going to be a 2-night overnight stay to the Caribbean Cove in Indianapolis, which is a huge water park, indoor water park. If they miss first semester, we start all over second semester, so they have another opportunity to get in on second semester. If they don't win the grand prize, we do give all the students that come, they draw for $10 gift cards. So they always walk out with something, a pizza party, and definitely a $10 gift card, if not the grand prize.
The Student Council hosted its first harvest party on Friday, October 12th. Students enjoyed all types of fall festivities, including wearing costumes, painting pumpkins, bobbing for apples, and pinning the head on the horseman.
After the harvest party on October 12th, the 6th grade sponsored the school's second dance of the year. The 6th grade held the dance to raise money for the Chicago field trip. They are also selling t-shirts designed by the 6th grade students to raise additional funds. If you are interested in buying a shirt or making a donation for the 6th grade field trip, please contact Ms. Unger.
It's now time for our technology tip from Mr. Beecham.
I am Gage Fulbrook with the APAX News, and we are with Mr. Beecham today for some technology tips.
Today we're going to talk about how to wrap your charger the right way. The past few weeks of school, the #1 repair problem has been broken chargers. And the problem is kids pulling it too tight when they charge. Here is the right way to do it. There should be a big loop and then wrap. That way the cord is not pulled too tight and your charger should last the entire time you have your laptop.
And now for your sports update with Blake and McCord.
The 8th grade football team finished their season with a record of 7-1. They won both the conference championship and the county championship. The team learned how important practice can be to achieve success. The season was not an easy battle. Each win had to be earned. The team won 4 games in the 4th quarter, 3 of them in the final minute. The boys just refused to lose. Head coach Mr. Breen considered the win against Southwood to be the most complete and hard-fought win he has ever coached. It was the definition of team win. The team's fan support helped them win close games all season. The 8th grade team should be proud of all its accomplishments. Nice job to the 6th and 7th grade team as well. The 7th and 8th grade volleyball teams finished the season with a record of 11, 10, and 1. The girls worked very hard this season to improve both individually and as a team. They started off strong with an early record of 9 and 2. Both 6th grade volleyball teams finished their season with very impressive records. Congratulations to all the volleyball players. Reporter Kyle Dennison sat down with Mr. Evans to talk about the middle school cross-country team's season.
We had a very successful season with a lot of new kids, a lot of 6th graders come out for the team this year, which I'm really pleased with, and they ran amazing times this year. And we also had some veteran runners that were on the team before that ran really well. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the team and hope to continue to build it for next year.
Until next time, this is the APAX News Team signing off. Woo!